This morning's guest will be talking about a subject that you never want to talk about. Find out what it's all about coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Puckett, Sheets, and Hogan, the Grand Strand's largest independent insurance agency on 21st Avenue North in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on the after-death industry. And we're visiting with Neal, a funeral director in Embalmer. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. Good morning.
And a soon-to-be birthday boy. You got a birthday this week, Rick.
Yeah, Thursday.
How's that feeling to turn
29? 29.
Oh, 29. 29.
Yeah, be 52. Hey, the Lord's blessed me good.
Yeah.
And it's great. I like it when them birthdays come around.
You're going to be 52 this Thursday, Rick.
Yes. Sure.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. We were at Villa Romana last week and talking to the owners, one of the owners there, and she had mentioned that she just turned 39, which is the age of infinity.
Yeah.
She's going to stay 39 forever because it was before 40, but you're proud of being 52.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
because you look so good for 52.
There you go. That's what it is. The Lord blessed you to live that long.
Yeah.
And with my family, and my grandchildren and everything, I'll tell you what, I'm blessed, very much blessed.
Absolutely. You have grandchildren, Rick.
Yeah.
What are their ages and where are they?
Oh, actually, with my grandchildren and step-grandchildren, there's 6 of them.
Is that right?
Yeah, 6.
I don't think I knew that.
And my daughter Alicia has 3 stepchildren, and they're in Augusta, Georgia.
Great.
And then my son Aaron, he has 2, Reed and Holly. And then Georgetta, my daughter, she has Caleb. So, got 6 grandchildren, buddy.
That is tremendous, Rick.
Yeah.
And you've got 4 children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I say, Paul, Aaron, Georgetta, and Alicia.
That is very exciting. Where all are they, Rick?
Aaron's here. He owns Southern Construction and Remodeling.
Right.
And he does business here. Him and his wife Alice.
Oh, yeah.
And then Georgetta, she's here. She's a nurse at Grand Strand.
Great. I've got my Grand Strand Regional Medical Center pinned today.
Yeah,
You'll have to tell her. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Alicia, her and her husband Sean lives in Augusta, and she's a diamondologist with Windsor Jewelers, and he's with Dillard's Corporation. He's operations manager over there.
Tremendous.
And then Paul, he's up in Kentucky, in our hometown, up on the farm up there, and he's with Toyota.
And you grew up in Kentucky, Rick?
Yeah. Little town called Pine Knot, Kentucky.
Pine Knot? How big is Pine Knot?
Well, it's little.
It's little, yeah.
It's little. The whole county has 16,000 people. You know how every little town has all these little names, that's not postal things, but we always laughed and we said, people say, where's Pine Knot? We'd say, well, that's between Mudcut and Towad.
Oh, come on.
I swear.
You're kidding.
No, I'm telling the truth.
You're between Mudcut and Towad?
Towad. W-A-D.
Towad.
Yeah.
I would not be telling people that.
It's next to Whitley City, Kentucky. So.
Do you still have family up in Pine Knot, Rick?
Oh, yeah, my mama, and she just came down this past weekend.
Yeah.
Her and my stepfather, and spent the weekend, and we went to see the Carolina Opry and stuff with them. So had a great time.
What does she like to do when she's down here? Normally do stuff like that?
Oh yeah, and she just we're just like 2 little pups together. We just walk together and talk together all the time, and have just a great time. She likes to go to the beach and sit around on the beach. Mom's 72 years old.
Yes, she said. Do you have brothers and sisters, Rick?
No, I'm the only child.
Just you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the only child.
That is significant for her then, to see her only child. And
Mama's baby boy.
Yeah.
Mama's baby boy.
Her one and only. That's amazing. And your wife, Bonnie, is she from that area as well?
Yeah, Bonnie and I grew up together, went to school together, dated in high school.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I used to get married in high school, right after high school, and then I went to the military and left, and then while I was gone, I did my thing. She did hers. She got married. When I came home from the military, I got married. And then 24 years later, we got back together and got married.
That is amazing. What an incredible story.
Been together 10 years.
10 years. Y'all celebrating your 10th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, buddy. She's a good woman. She works at the university.
I know. She was so kind to line up Coach Cliff Ellis, that coach of Clemson. I think they work together.
Yeah. She's his secretary.
Okay, great.
So,
which was a great open door opportunity for us. He was a tremendous interview. We loved so much having him in.
Yeah,
the first week of September.
He's a nice guy, and boy, he's working hard. Bonnie talks about how hard he works.
Oh yeah,
getting things together out there, for this new ball team.
That's exactly right. Well, I think he actually inherited many of the folks there.
Right.
They're getting ready for the new season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're getting ready for a big new Coastal Carolina arena a couple of years from now, which would be exciting to play in there.
He's Bonnie says he's real strict on everything.
Is that right?
Said he, makes him toe the mark, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good for him.
Yeah.
He's had some experience there.
Yeah.
Just like you in the funeral home business, Rick. I think I saw you've been in it for 34 years now.
Yeah. I started right while I was in high school. Started working with the local funeral home up there in McCreary County, and McCreary County Funeral Home is where I started at.
Mm-hmm.
And we run ambulance service because that's back before they had paramedics and all that on ambulances.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have, it's called a combination hearse ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
In the back, the seats would fold out,
right,
and it had a place to put a cot, and you carried oxygen stuff back there, and then whenever you had a funeral service, you fold the seats back in, take the oxygen and all that out. And it had, big red lights on top, and
really
those big old sirens. Like I say, now this has been a long time ago. That's when sirens was about this long and under the hood of them big Cadillacs, and they'd start whining out, and just, when you'd stop, it'd take them a few minutes to wind down.
No, you'd hear that siren still going off.
Yeah, it reminds you, and it's funny when I hear it, because it makes me think of those every time on Andy and Mayberry, when Barney gets that siren wound out. That's the same kind of sirens it was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow, Rick.
Yeah, sure was.
You miss those days with the sirens?
Oh, yeah.
The early days of getting in the business when you were in high school? And
yeah, but there's been so much advanced stuff in the funeral business now. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting ready to leave and fly out to Las Vegas to the National Funeral Directors Convention.
This upcoming weekend.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Because, there's just so much stuff that we need to do and need to look at and go through, and so many changes that can be made. So, we'll go out there, and I'm interested in the exhibit, and then we're just flying out for 3 days.
Good. Anything in particular you're focusing on, or just everything?
Well, my future.
Yeah, good. Set the stage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have aspirations about what I want to do here in Myrtle Beach. So
good.
So
Myrtle Beach is a great area. It really is.
Yeah,
it's a great area, and so many tremendous operators. Obviously, you've got long-time family commitments like the Goldfinch family, who've been in it more than 100 years. Steve McMillan up there on 67th Avenue, I believe, who's been in it for 30, 40 years. Who knows how long, for a long time. And Alan Lee, up there in Little River area, who's been in it for a heck of a long time. So many great dedicated families, as well as in Loris and Aner and all the funeral homes in the area that really make a difference in people's lives.
That's right. And they're good. They're all good funeral directors. I mean, they're committed to and dedicated to what they do. Mm-hmm. So, and there've been some new funeral homes like out in Aner, and Johnson Funeral Home's built. It's a new funeral home, and then Ward's built one up in Loris.
Palmetto Funeral Home over in
Palmetto,
Palmetto, which you had, I think, run for a short while, and of course, so many that are up and down the Strand. And I think a question that a lot of folks ask, when they're thinking about if someone dies here and they need to, and their family is somewhere else, what happens? How do they go about getting their loved one from here to somewhere else if they die and they want to get them back to New Jersey, let's say?
Well, there's different ways of doing it. Down here, a lot of people opt for cremation.
Is that right?
So we do the cremation, get all the permits and get everything signed and everything. We do the cremation. Then after we do that, we can ship them, fly the ashes to them or whatever, or mail them. But then if they want a service up there and they want to have a visitation or a ground burial or entombment in a mausoleum or something like that, we pick up the body, we embalm it, we prepare it, we put it in a casket. Family comes in, we put them in a casket. And then if sometimes, now a funeral director may call me from up in, say, New York, and just wants us to pick them up and ship them up there. Then family's not here. Family's not associated with it. We deal directly with the funeral home up there, the funeral director.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
What are some of the things a family member should be looking for in a funeral director when they're trying to figure out on the shipping side? What are some of the things that a family member should be looking for?
Well, a funeral director can do a lot of things for the family, and when the loved one dies, the funeral director's got to get the death certificates and all that stuff for them.
When you say that, the death certificates, what do you mean?
All right. To file estates, insurance, you have to have a certified copy, certificate of death. Now, that has to be filed by the medical examiner or the coroner and the funeral director. And then we take it to Conway, to the Department of Vital Records, and they certify it. And believe you me, a lot of people think, well, I'll get one death certificate and I'll make copies. The paper that they have that they use, you have to pay for these copies. The first copy costs $12. And if you get more at that one time, it's $3 per copy. Now, if you wait and go back the next day and start over, it costs $12 again. Now, but if you try to make a copy of it, the paper turns out a dark gray with copy all over. It's all it says.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
Yeah, you can't make a copy of a death certificate. So, but you need a death certificate to file insurance and all that stuff with. And for the cremation, you have to have a death certificate signed for that. Death certificate's one of the first things you got to do.
So the funeral director is the only one who can go about getting that.
Right. Right. Has to be signed by the funeral home. And you have to put all the information, like the name, the date of birth, the date of death, where the burial is going to be, or if it's going to be a cremation, what their address was, all of that stuff. Cause of death, all of it's on there.
If someone dies and they're going to be cremated, do they still go through the embalming process for that?
Well, sometimes. Some families want a traditional type service, but then they don't want ground burial. So they'll buy a casket or rent a casket. You can rent a casket also.
Is that right?
Yeah. And what it is, it has an insert that goes, the end comes out of the casket, and it has an insert that slides in. And you can, and after the visitation and after the funeral service and everything, you just take the end out of that casket, and that insert slides right out with the body in it. So, and that's if you want to rent it. But a lot of people just opt for just direct cremation.
Right.
They don't want any type of service.
When you say direct cremation, you mean just having the cremation, no service?
Right. We pick the person up, bring them to the funeral home, and the family comes in, signs all the permits. We get everything signed from the coroner, certificate of cremation and all that, and we do it. There's a 24-hour waiting period after they sign, the family signs everything.